Hey my darlings, I had to make this video today. As you know, today's June 20th. It is the day of what was supposed to be my trial. I had to wait for 5 people before my actual case, so it was 5 cases before me. Um, so pretty much what happened was I had to wait for 4 of them, then they had a recession, then the 5th one was after that, then it was me. You know the recession obviously is where they take a break. Just like it's somewhat similar to like a play. They always take breaks for plays and such. Anyways, I just had to give you this video because I had to make sure you both were relieved. I think Dimona was more collected about the situation than Gypsy from what it sounded like. I know that Dimona was still worried, but not as worried as Gypsy is just because of how much I mean to Gypsy. Dimona, I know I mean a lot to her too though. I'm not going to exclude her out of that because I know that hell, she wants to be my submissive slash dominant one out of the both sides of my sword. While Gypsy doesn't mind being the submissive one all the time. Um, as for I don't even know why I'm saying this. You both already know it. You both already know this. But obviously you both are meant to be submissive towards your Master Victor, obviously. How I can be submissive to either of you, even though most likely it's more gonna be like, Dimona. She's gonna be the one I'm always being submitted towards. Anyways, yeah, sweethearts. Now this is what happened in the trial, as I know you both really want to know, and I figured I'd tell you on cam. Um, when I get nervous, I put all the pieces together of all the signs. When the bird was falling, and then it landed, and then it recovered, and then flew away, what that pretty much meant was when I stutter, that's usually when I get nervous. I got nervous enough to actually stutter today, but then I was still able to answer the questions. I did stutter pretty much almost the entire time I was up. Um, that only happens when I get nervous to the point I don't know what to say. I freeze. Yeah, I freeze. I kind of said it just there. Because I was just trying to think a little faster. Let's just say this. When it comes to your Master Victor, I always have trouble keeping up with his thinking process, how fast he thinks. So, I don't think I'll have any trouble with you two. Neither of my darlings. I don't think I'll have any trouble with either of you. Because at least you're human like I am. While your Master Victor is vampire. So he's meant to be hard to keep up with. Since I guess naturally, vampires are naturally too... Let's see, what is the word I'm thinking of? They're natural to have a constant thinking process that's insanely quick. I guess from what he told me, vampires are... What was the actual times? They think 1,000 times faster than a human does. So, yeah. That's the reason why I have a very hard time keeping up with them. There's times I'll actually have to keep up with even you. But that's only when I get nervous. Otherwise, when I'm happy and I have all my worries and nervousness, all those reasons I shouldn't, all those feelings I shouldn't have, when those are all gone, I seem completely normal. So as if I don't have autistic traits like my Asperger's syndrome I have. I don't even seem to show it. But anyways, because my nose is running. No, okay, another reason why I'm glad to tell you what I'm about to tell you. With the actual, what do you call it? The trial, it went as smooth as possible. Even though I stuttered like I did, I think the DA, the bailiff, which is pretty much like a, what do you call it? Like a sheriff. But he just watches over the judge, I guess, and everyone else in the court, make sure everything's in order. Um, them two, the judge, like everyone could tell that I had a disability, by how much I was stuttering. But I did recover enough to be able to answer the question every single time I started stuttering. I recovered enough to answer it. So overall, it went as quick as possible. So Here's what happened with the actual signs. I can now debunk them for what I actually was able to think of. I forgot to tell you this online because I actually did think of it before the actual trial started. When I was waiting and I got bored, waiting for all 5 of those other trial, cases. Um, I actually blacked out for a little while. I mean, I might have seemed like I was wide awake and such. I actually had a vision, and the vision was my actual trial, the actual way it was supposed to end. I didn't get to see the way it began, but just the way it ended, and it had ended precisely, exactly as I was supposed to. Which was I stuttered, just like the bird fell, and I had to recover, and then flew away. Well, I right away got a trial date right away. I didn't have to answer many questions at all. I only had to answer general ones as if it was me that they were talking to, and I had the right address that they have and such and such. That's all I had to ask. Pretty much just 2 questions is all I really had to answer. And then right away I got to fly off, just like the bird did. But that's pretty much what when I said the bird was flying off that way, and then flew off this way and then landed, that pretty much meant that the part that I wasn't getting right was that the trial wasn't supposed to be fast. And it was fast. That's the part I could not debunk, and that's what Mother Nature was trying to show me. That's the reason why I kept on seeing them fly by. But, yeah. After that vision, I was able to debunk it all, and I should have been less nervous when I went up there, but that didn't necessarily happen. I still ended up stuttering, and then I got my trial date, which is the 11th of November, which is 6 months after today, most likely. Well, it's just 6 months more. It's not necessarily 6 months after, because obviously today's the 20th, and that's the 11th of November. That's not necessarily 6 months. Even though I've already been away from McDonald's for 3 months. So it'd be a total of 9 months altogether after I've done this. So, not only that, I'm going to stay away from that place for good. Unless if it's the gas station side of it, that might be the only reason I even go there. I'm not joking, sweethearts. That's probably the only reason I'll even go there. After the 6 months, obviously. Just so I don't get in any trouble. But, yeah. After that has been taken care of, I'm not going there ever again. I hope you boycott that place too. It's not good for your diet. I've done enough research into that place and its food. You would make your head spin if you knew exactly what goes on with the food that they sell. So I'm more than happy that I'm banned it from the place for as long as I am. I'm glad that I am. It's better for my diet anyways. And besides, they have a place that just opened up right across the street from there. It's called Woodman's. That place is freaking awesome. How cheap everything is. All the food there is. I mean, if you get the chance to move up here to where you actually end up living in Waukesha with me, that place, you'll be addicted to it like I am. The place is flippin' huge, and it has so much variety to it. There's another grocery store down the street a little ways from it. Pick and Save. Anyways, Woodman's puts that place to shame. It does. They even have stuff from Arizona that I haven't even seen before, which I love drinking Arizonas. Here's one I actually bought today. But, yeah. That's pretty much what's going on. I did have to give up my knife, and I obviously have to pay $50, and then the court costs, obviously, whatever that might be, which might be a total together of maybe up to 300 instead of the 11,000, which was the max. Like I would have had to deal with the fines. Only be 300 instead, as the max. So everything went on as smoothly as possible. Alright, sweethearts, I'm gonna give you my goodnight kisses. I might as well say goodnight to you for a victory day that we had today. We were able to overcome this day and have another day go on. Since I already have a 3 months head start, isn't like I'm gonna have any trouble staying away from the place. There's no reason for me to have any trouble. As long as you don't have your freakouts. I'm gonna explain this to you only one time, and I hope you get it this one time. From Monday to Thursday, that's 9 to 9 of the hours of the library, which means you're gonna have a freakout on Monday through Thursday. Do not have one on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Sunday for sure not, because I can't even get online. That's usually that I have to stay at home because they don't even have any hours for that until like the school year, which I think starts in another, what is it? I think it's September. Yeah, September. But for Saturday, it's 9 to 1 right now for hours. And then for Friday, it's 9 to 5. So those are, between those hours, you can freak out, and I'll be able to get there. But do not freak out anymore. Any of those other time that I'm not able to be there. I hope you reassure me online that you will not freak out. Like I said, you will not freak out like that. I really hope you do it. But alright, sweethearts. I'm gonna give you both my goodnight kisses now. This one's for Gypsy. This one's for my Demona. And this one's for both of you. I love and adore you, my darlings. I hope this relieves you both that today went as well as possible. Good night, my sweethearts. And here's my goodnight kiss to both of you. Usually you only get to do it with your Master Victor online, but on here, at least you get to get it from me to both of you instead of just one. That was nice. Since I know you have a good night ending usually, and now you get to see me do it now. Alright, this is to both of you again, my darlings, and then I'll click out. But before I do this, since I really am going to click out as soon as I do it, sweethearts, just one last thing I want to say. That is, besides you reassuring me that you are not going to freak out anymore, along the hours that I told you not to, of whatever day it might be, like after 9 o'clock on a Thursday, do not do it. I was saying 9 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, nighttime, do not do it. Because 9 o'clock, no matter what day it is, I cannot get online. So do not do it. Unless if you could try to maybe call me, you haven't had a chance to really get any minutes, but yeah. Alright, this is my goodnight kiss to both of you, and then I'm going to click out. And I hope this video reassures you both on the entire situation. And at least you got to see me again. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm freaking hot as hell right now. I don't have to freaking open that freaking window back up. Since I just wanted nothing to be really, what's the word I'm looking for? Nothing to be really, in the background that you don't need to hear. All you need to hear is me. So I had to close the damn window. I have to freaking open back up so this way I don't fucking get any more hotter. But anyways, I have freaking, yeah, I'm half naked. And I'm still freaking hot as hell. I don't want to fucking take this off. Even though I could. Alright, sweethearts. Here's my goodnight kiss to you both. And please answer this video online. Everything. From reassurance, you will not freak out, to how you are maybe relieved about how the trial went, and etc. etc. Besides me telling you about the whole situation. And I don't know if I said that already, I'll just make sure I did. About me being submissive to Demona no matter what, whenever there comes a time with that. And then obviously Gypsy probably end up being more submissive to me. Then obviously you both be submissive towards your Master Victor, obviously. I figured I'd just remind you of that. This way, Demona knows that I'll probably end up being submissive towards her in the future. Alright, well, I love and adore you, my sweethearts. Good night, my darlings. And here's my last goodnight kiss. Since this is just a reassurance to both of you.